Sutiya (ßdij) is a community or an ethnic group originating from the Indian state of Assam and the descendants of the Sino-Tibetan family, of Mongoloid stock. The earliest recorded history about the Sutiyas is found in the Assamese chronicle, which names Asambhina as the first Sutiya king to dwelt on the banks of the Brahmaputra in the 7th century A.D. The Sutiya people through the Sutiya dynasty formed the kingdom in the present Indian states of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh and reigned from 1187 to 1673. They are a physically diverse ethnic group of mixed East Asian and Indo-Aryan appearance and make one of the major and earliest section of the plain. Inhabitants of Assam to have migrated from southern China, predominantly from the present Tibet and Sichuan. The seat of the Sutiyas when they were in the ascendant appears to have been about Lakhimpur and the back of the Subansiri River. They hold all the countries to the north of the Brahmaputra as far down as Botswana. They spoke a language of Tibeto-Burman origin but over time started speaking Assamese language and adopted Hinduism. Sutiyas along with Kocharaj Bongshi and Ahom are sometimes referred to as semi-Hinduist caste. The Sutiya community are recognized as OBC by the government of India and are an ethnic Assamese-speaking group. Today, most of them reside in Upper Assam districts and a fair amount are found in Lower Assam districts of Kamrup and Kamrup Metro. The 1901 census report showed nearly 86,000 individuals belonging to the Sutiya group with other numerically strong groups, Cox, Rajbansis, Ahoms. The 2011 census report estimated 2,600,000 individuals belonging to the group. Etymology. According to Sutiya language, the word Sutiya stands for glory. Origin. The Sutiyas are semi-Hinduist people who had a large kingdom in Upper Assam. They are generally alleged to be of Shan origin, though Dalton believed from the language to be closely related to Kacharis. They seem to have largely intermarried with the Ahoms, so that the latter have a subdivision called Sutiya. The Sutiyas have sections calling themselves Ahoms. The Sutiyas display prominent Caucasoid features due to the absorption of the Pal dynasty by the Sutiya kings in the middle of the 13th century, and, due to this inclusion, they show close genetic affinities with some Caucasoid groups, mainly the Brahmin caste of Assam and Muslims of Bihar. They are now chiefly found in the Upper Assam districts side by side with the Ahoms. Edward Gate in his book, A History of Assam, wrote, "The Sutiya rule. The Sutiya kingdom was established by Birpal in 1187 on the northern bank of the river Brahmaputra. The kingdom absorbed the ancient Pal dynasty and reigned for over 400 years in northeastern Assam and areas of present-day Arunachal Pradesh, with the capital at ʻsʊðiːjɑː. The kingdom controlled the entire region of present Assam districts of Lakhimpur, Dhemaji, Tinsukia and parts of Jorhat, Deepraj, Sino-Tibetan. It was the dominant kingdom in Upper Assam till the 16th century, in which it expanded from Parshuramkund in the east to Vishwanath in the west and had absorbed many local communities and tribes. Most illustrious of the Sutiya kings was Gauranaran, son of Birpal. He brought many other Sutiya groups into his kingdom. In 1224 Ratnadwajpal defeated Bhadrasena, the king of Swatagiri. Then he went on to subjugate Nyayapal and marched toward Kamatapur, where he formed an alliance with the Kamata ruler by marrying a princess. Then he marched to Dhaka and made friends with the Gauda ruler. The hostilities with the Ahoms began when the Sutiya kingdom expanded to the south and during which Ahom king Suchfa was killed by the Sutiya king during a friendly negotiation. This conflict triggered a number of battles between the two sides, which saw great loss of men and money. The simmering dispute often flared till 1523, when the Ahoms struck the Sutiya kingdom in its weakest state. They finally took Sutiya and killed the then king Nityapal. The Ahoms established the rule by instituting the position of ʻsʊðiːjɑː, the governor in charge of Sutiya. But the Sutiya had dispersed to frontier regions and continued raids against the Ahoms. It finally ended in 1673, when the Sutiyas fall under the domination of the Ahoms. Language. The original language of the Sutiyas belonged to the Tibeto-Burman language group, also known by the same name i.e. Sutiya. Although the language is no longer spoken, it is well preserved by the Juri people of the priestly section of the group. Edward Gate, in his book A History of Assam, claimed the Sutiya language to be the original language of Upper Assam. Religion. In the early medieval period, the Sutiyas followed a religion closely related to Buddhism, i.e. Bon, before adopting Hinduism. During the rule of the Sutiya dynasty, they worshipped various forms of Kali with the help of the tribal priests, Deepraj. The favorite form of worshipping this deity was that of Kesaikait. A crude form of Hinduism became the state religion at a very early time. An influence of tantric form of Shaktism was felt in the royal court. Human sacrifices of criminals was offered to tutelary goddess Kesaikati and pilgrims from region far more remote, i.e. Tibet and China, brought their offerings as a token of faith for Tantricism. In modern times, majority of them are followers of Hinduism and Ekasara and Dharma, a pantheistic religion founded and propagated by Sri Mantasankardeva during the 15th century in Assam. Subdivisions. Historically, they have been divided into 5 important groups: Hindu Sutiya, Ahom Sutiya, Bairahi Sutiya, Miri Sutiya, Juri Sutiya. The Hindu Sutiya represented the majority of the population and were formed by the marriage of the Sutiyas with remains of the Pal dynasty during the 13th century. The Ahom Sutiya were formed by the intermarriage between the Sutiyas and the Ahoms. Similarly, some Miris and Bairahis were absorbed into the community. The Juri are at present recognized as one of the plain tribes of Assam. Surnames. Most of them write the conferred titles given to them by the Ahom kings, while the rest use local Assamese surnames. Some common surnames used by the Sutiya community: Bahoi, Barali, Borbarali, Surabarali, Bora, Bora, Borbora, Borbora, Bordaloi, Borua, Berua, Buyan, Charliha, Chorok, Chutia, Sutiya, Das, Dulak Uriya, Duwonia, Gogoi, Hazarika, Hodayal, Lakar, Lahorn, Lavhan, Lekaru, Mudwa, Neog, Pukan, Fukan, Rajkanika, Karnika, Rajkoa, Sakya. There may be other spellings of the same surnames or middle names. Prefixes added to the surnames. This is an incomplete list. Organizations. There are numerous organizations that accommodate with the needs of the group. Some of the known organizations are: All Assam Sutiya Jati Sant Milan, All Assam Sutiya Yuba Sant Milan, All Assam Sutiya Mahila Sant Milan, All Assam Sutiya Student Union.